afternoon, guys. I'm Josh from Marquee's Flooring, and thanks for joining us for episode 2 of Third Thursday Training. This is something that we're doing every month, every third Thursday of each month, and the topic will change as the year progresses. Today, we've got the guys here from Marquee, and we're going to be going through levelling and floor preparations, and going through a couple other different technicalities just to make sure you've got all the information you need. So I'm going to hand over to Troy and Robbie to run the demonstration.
Thanks, Josh. G'day, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit about subfloor preparation today and the ways to go about doing a successful application. I think what we'll start off with, we're going to talk about moisture vapour barriers. We have 2 of those. Then we'll talk about bonding agents and primers, and then we'll go into the levellers from there. So the first product I'd like to talk about is this one here, Proof 1K Turbo. It's a moisture curing polyurethane resin. It's good for up to 95 RH relative humidity with one coat, one component, single application. So this gets rolled on with a 6 to 7 mil nap roller. You should roughly get around 100 square metres per 10 kilo drum. The other one I'd like to talk about is the Primer MF. This one over here. This one here is a 2-component polyurethane, and you have an A and a B. So this one will go up to 100% RH. So floors over 95 RH, you go with the 2-part Primer MF. So all our products will go on a concrete 85 and falling. So with our levellers and so forth, if it's under 85, you do not require the moisture vapour barriers. Over 85, you require a moisture vapour barrier. So from the 85 to 95 range, you go with the Proof 1K Turbo, and 95 to 100, you'll go with Primer MF. With this particular product, when you applicate it, you don't want to put too much on. You must put it in a tray, wet the roller out, and then roll it on that way. If you tip it straight onto the concrete, you'll get too much of the product. Because it's moisture curing, it can start foaming, which you don't want, because you can't bond the foam, or like a blister. So by applying it with a 6 or 7 mil nap roller, you'll just get that nice smooth finish like that over the whole thing. If for any reason the concrete's randomly porous and it soaks right in and you can't see a film going right across, you need to applicate a little bit more just over those areas, which you can do within 2 hours. Proof 1K Turbo, and it's just that simple. One thing to always keep in mind though, when you're actually doing it in someone's house, is to tape up around kickboards, skirting boards, cut in with a brush, and then roll. There has been cases where guys have rolled it and run it around all 2-pack kitchen kickers, and then have replaced it all. That's it there. So 2 hours, that's done. Ready to go. If you're direct sticking to it, S955, this adhesive to stick direct. The Primer MF, that's slightly different though. So this is going to dry in a range, depending on temperature, between 4 hours and 12 hours. So with these products, a lot of the guys will put it down one day, come back the next day. And it same applies with the Primer MF as well. If you've got dull patches, you need to roll back over it. Generally, 10 mil microfiber nap roller for this product, and that's sufficient, 1 coat. And that's up to 100%.
You've still got your 24 hour on that one?
Yep.
So it's the same for both products?
Yep. The only way around leaving it longer than 24 hours is if you broadcast for sand. Now with the Primer MF, comes in a box, and with all the instructions and the steps on mixing it. So you don't want to get too much air, and you mix the full bottle of part B with part It's an exothermic reaction, so it is going to get hot. Once you've mixed it, you're better off to try and separate it out into, if you want to get a bit more life out of it, separate it out in a few trays, because it won't go off as quick. If you leave it in that bucket, it's going to get hot. If smoke alarms are on, fire alarms, that sort of thing in a commercial building, just keep an eye on it, because it will get hot and get like a vapour going up that can set them off. And if for any unknown reason you have to walk off site, take that out and put it outside somewhere where it can't catch fire. Whereas the prim grip that's been put down, that's going to go off in this weather in about 25 minutes. Middle winter, an hour. So you can use prim grip over ceramic tiles if you've got a level over those. So when it comes to levelling over ceramic tiles, all you've got to do is degrease the tiles, no grinding. Put the Eco Prim grip down, and then wait for it to dry and do your levelling. So generally, primer MF you'll mix for about 3 minutes.
I like going around the edges because it gets all the resin from around the edge of the bucket to reticulate with the hardener. That way you're guaranteeing that the A and the B is thoroughly mixed before you put the mixing paddle inside there.
Have an exothermic reaction, so it's just going to start getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and you cook an egg on it, which you'll see after. We'll just leave it out there, and you'll see it get hotter as it goes on. And again, the application's pretty similar as what the turbo was. So never pour the products directly on the floor and then slop it around. Always put in a tray, wet your roller out, and then up and down. And just overlapping slightly so you've got coverage where you've been, and make sure that you get full coverage on the concrete. When it comes to priming with either moisture vapor barrier, and you want to broadcast seam, you need to use a 0.8 UN sand, 1 mil, and broadcast full blind. Just blind it right out, make it look like the Sahara Desert. And later when you sweep up all the excess and then vacuum what's left, that's what you'll get there, that carpet hooking. So with the chemical bond agents like the Eco Prim T Plus, we say over the moisture vapor barriers, up to 10 mil thick with the leveller, you can use the Prim T Plus. Greater than 10 mil in thickness over the moisture vapor barriers, you've got to blind it out with sand. And also with the yellow tongue, you've got to sand that protective coating off that it comes with. That wax coating has to go. So Robbie's covered this, but if you have a look at that board we've got just over here, look at the bottom run, that's actually the factory coating from the yellow tongue manufacturer, and then where it's being sanded, then the prim grip, and then the level. Because nothing sticks to that wax. So what Robbie's about to do now, we're going to be levelling on the MAPI-Proof 1K that we've already put down on this board. So we're going to put an undiluted coat of Eco Prim T Plus. Whoop.
Okay, lucky the lid was on.
Over the top. And we're doing that at the moment just so it dries. We've got time to put the leveller down shortly.
Isn't that the same as primer too? It's different.
Yeah, it's a newer version. So you'll notice it's
No, we don't get primer too anymore.
no. You get Eco Prim T Plus. It's a little bit stronger. With MAPI-Proof 1K Turbo, when you applicate it, you've got a window of 24 hours to get your floors down. After that, we recommend that you remove it. Yep. Not recoat at all. Simple fact is two main reasons. One's contamination, and the other one is it gets hard, very, very hard. You lose any chemical reaction with your adhesives. With all the levellers, we're going to mix that for about 1.5 minutes. so it's lump free. Then we're going to let it slack, just let it sit for a good 30 seconds, and that's letting the polymers and so forth inside the leveler activate, get working. Then we'll mix it again for another 30 seconds and tip it on the floor. So that's with the Ultraplan Fast Track. Just pour half out, Rob, and then I want you to pour some back into the level. So when you're levelling, you've got your gauge rate. What we normally, work it, we don't need pin rollers in our levelers. So what you want to do is just put your first in, you'll gauge rake it back through your room, and then get a stand-up stick trowel and walk back through it and go across, gliding across the top of it the opposite direction. And then when the next mix comes in, always pour into the leveler about 100ml, 200ml, so you're always keeping the water. Never pour in front of the leveler, so don't pour where the trowel is or away from the leveler, pour into the leveler. That way it's always going to blend. If you pour in front and that's slightly gone off, it's going to roll over the top and you're going to end up with a ridge that you're going to have to do something with, grind it down. So this product gets greater than 50 MPa at 28 days. It gets over 40 MPa in 24 hours. So it has a high mechanical strength and it builds up a high mechanical strength pretty quick. And that's it. Robbie hasn't even touched that really. And you'll feel the smoothness of the product once it's cured, like they're flat. Anyone got any questions on the Fast Track?
Bubbling, do you find any bubbling?
No. The only time you'll find bubbling or pinholes is if you haven't primed properly. So what it is, pinholing in that in levelers is where the leveler goes down into the concrete, into the little capillaries, pushes the air out and it comes back up through the leveler. If you've primed your floor properly, you won't have that issue whatsoever. So if you ever see pinholes in leveler, means the priming hasn't been done correctly. So the next one we'll do is the Ultraplan Renovation. So it's 3 to 40ml. It's fibre reinforced. A new product, it's a good product, and you can go over timber, yellow tongue, your TNG flooring, CFC sheet, up to 40ml. So, mix time. Okay, so the mix time with this, we're going to mix this for about a minute 30, 2 minutes, Rob?
Yep, 2 minutes, let it sit for 2.
Let it sit for 2, and then we'll mix it again for 30 seconds. Put it on the... That's one thing you don't do, like, depending on the temperatures with your levelers, and always go with the ratio, the recipe. If it says it needs 4.6 to 4.8 litres of water, that's what you work between. Don't go, oh, I need to make it go a bit further, I'll put 5 litres in it. It's not going to make it go further at all. All it's going to do is create separation. So all the fines in the leveler will go to the top, all the heavier stuff will go to the bottom, and there'll be nothing in the middle. So you run the risk of it, separating all itself apart, especially when you put timber on it and timber's live and wants to move and grow and put stress on the floor as well. Notice it looks a bit grainier, thicker. As you can see, that's been sitting for 6 minutes, 7 minutes, Rob.
Yep.
And now
6 minutes.
Putting the second bucket into it, and that's blending nicely. Again, temperature plays a big part. All our products are based at 23 degrees, 50% humidity. So if it's colder, things are going to go a little bit slower. If it's hotter, things are going to accelerate. You don't have to keep playing with the levelers. Just put them down, pull them back. You'll set your gauge rate for the thickness that you need. Pull it back once, twice. Run the stick trowel across it the opposite way. and let it do its thing. You know, if you keep trying to pull it right out, all you're going to end up doing if you're trying to level the floor, because you've got these, you know, you're going to pull too much leveler out and it's going to be like that instead of the leveler going across the top and filling in those dips.
The instructions are clear on the back. They're both in text and also with pictograms. So it's got high-low ratio of water. It's got what kind of temperature it should be applied. So the pictograms are very, very handy because it's just follow the storyline. On the back of each bag, you'll clearly see those pictograms on the left-hand side of the packaging. And then if you know, during smoker, if you want to read up about it, it's got it in text as well. But normally everyone follows the pictograms. Also, all the TDSs are downloadable on the Marpay app.
Which is right here. You just download the app, and then you can go into products for ASEAN lines or product for timber flooring lines, and all the different products are there.
It's a very handy tool to have too if you need to flick TDS to the builder so that they can read up on it. With regards to the technical data sheet, the part that I always recommend that everyone read is the recommended section of the TDS. The reason why I say that is because in that section it actually has what not to do, and that's a shorter read.
Thanks for joining us for episode 2 of Third Thursday Training. We hope you got something out of this, and we hope it's going to help you for your next job. Next month, we're going to be doing hard wax oils and all things to do with hard wax oil, how to coat them, how they finish, the benefits of them. I'd like to thank the guys from Marpay. If you guys can give them a thank you as well. Thank you guys very much. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because we've got a lot of videos coming up, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.